Welcome back, friends. Today I want to give you a bit of advice on how to train smarter to see better results, because there's people out there doing crazy amounts of workouts, crazy diets, crazy things, and not seeing any results. And there's a reason for it, okay? And the reason is because you're not doing these 5 things when it comes to your training program, your nutrition program, okay? So if you're interested, obviously follow along, like this video if you enjoyed it at the end, and also subscribe. But without further ado, let's get on with it. So the first thing I want to talk about is training intensity. I believe that a lot of us train suboptimally. So we go to the gym, we think that we have pushed ourselves up to like a 10 out of 10, or at least an 8 out of 10, but in reality, we haven't. And here's the thing, okay? There's something called rate of perceived exertion. So that is subjective to you, okay? It's subjective to how you're feeling, subjective to your fatigue levels, how tired you are, okay? So let's say on a day when you're tired, you go to the gym and you feel like you've done a 10 out of 10 session because it felt bloody hard, okay? We've all been there before. The reason why it felt hard is not because you actually pushed yourself, okay? So there's a rate of exertion. So it's not because your rate of actual exertion was maximum, okay? You hit your maximum rate of exertion, like 10 out of 10. It's because you were tired, you were fatigued, you were exhausted. So there's a difference between rate of perceived exertion and rate of actual exertion. So how hard you actually trained, okay? Because if you are tired compared to your regular days when you are perfectly fine, when you're good, when you're fueled up, okay, your rate of perceived exertion is going to feel a lot higher than the rate of actual exertion, okay? So there's going to be an imbalance, and that's what you want to avoid. Hence why it's important, okay, to make sure that you are sleeping enough, that you're fueling your body properly. But here's another thing, okay? A lot of people think that they're training 6 times a week, 10 out of 10, which obviously doesn't make sense, okay? If you feel that way, then obviously you are overtraining and you're definitely not training at a 10 out of 10 of rate of actual exertion, okay? So you have to understand, let's take Tom Platz, for example, okay? Tom Platz was an American bodybuilder, professional bodybuilder who was known for his amazing legs, okay? Do you know how many times a week he trained legs? Which is probably going to blow your mind. Only twice a month, so every other week, okay? Because he trained his legs to the absolute maximum, okay? He would destroy his legs, okay? And so he needed the time to recover before the next session. So he couldn't possibly do another session that week because it wouldn't have made sense, because he wanted to train, up to 12 out of 10, if that's even possible. For him, it was possible. So a lot of athletes train this way. They'll do 1 intense session a week or maybe every other week, okay? But the other sessions are to build up to the competition, okay? To build up the stamina. You're not going to be training 10 out of 10, 6 days a week. Let me tell you that up front. That's just not going to happen. Now, on to fueling your body properly. So as I've touched upon sleeping, okay, resting enough, making sure that you give yourself enough rest between workouts, it's very, very important to fuel your body properly. So if you want good quality output, you need to give yourself good quality input. So you need to fuel your body properly. You need to make sure that your nutrition is on point. So what do we mean by that? 80% out of 100, you're going to be eating nice nutritious meals, whole foods, steak, greens, okay, potatoes, grains if you want to, okay? But base your meals around protein, around healthy, good quality sources of protein like steak, chicken, eggs, okay? And then the other 20% of the time, you can have whatever you want. Okay, you can have that treat, you can have that Snickers bar. That's what I do. I allow myself to have my Lindt chocolate. Yeah, I allow myself to have my chocolate rice cakes, 2-3 chocolate rice cakes a day, because I'll have those 2 or 3. I'll have a Snickers bar. I'll have something that I feel like I really, really want. My brain just wants it that day. I'll have it. I will quench that thirst for that thing. And then I won't want it again. My body will want nutritious food. I will not crave unhealthy food because I've had it. I've allowed myself to have it. It's not off limits. Number 3, you need to have a structured plan. So your workouts, your nutrition, your workout's intensity, that all comes under a structured plan. How do you know what plan to follow? Because obviously, who knows, like, what do you actually do? Well, first and foremost, you need to know what you want to achieve. What is your actual goal? Is it to sculpt your body? Is it to have a bigger bum, bigger shoulders, more defined abs? Is it to maybe get better at running? Is it to become a better sprinter? Whatever your goal is, first define your goal. Remember, do not try to come up with 3 different goals that are potentially going to clash, okay? So if you want to build a bigger bum, it's also going to be very unlikely that you're going to get better at running, okay? These 2 hardly ever go together, all right? To grow a bigger bum, you need to be in a surplus. To run faster, you need to be a little bit lighter. And also, when you run, you eat away at your muscle mass, okay? So make sure that your goals are reasonable and they're not going to clash. Pick one goal, okay? And life isn't ending. You can always pick another one after you've done your 12-week, 16-week, however long program. I've had to switch hands now because this one's going numb. On to number 4. Number 4 is make sure that you start small, okay? So don't start going all in with intermittent fasting, waking up at 5 a.m. every morning, not eating until 12, running every morning for an hour, going to the gym for 2 hours. You are going to burn out so fast. Your body, your brain, they're just going to become paralyzed after maximum a week or 2. Okay, so you need to make sure that that plan that you either someone sets out for you or you structure it yourself, it needs to be obviously realistic and it needs to fit into your lifestyle seamlessly. So don't do these crazy things that obviously are going to just make you feel overwhelmed, and in the end you're not going to stick to it. Whatever goal you have, it's always about making sure that you are able to stick to it. If a plan is too ambitious, what's the point in that plan? If you're not going to stick to it, it's just not going to do anything for you. So if you start feeling paralyzed, overwhelmed, well, maybe something needs to be dialed down. Maybe you need to go on shorter runs. Maybe you need to run less frequently. Maybe you need to go to the gym 3 times instead of 4 times a week because you've got a busy work schedule. That's fine. It needs to work for you. On to number 5, our last point. When you do go into the gym or when you are exercising, working out, make sure that you don't have distractions around you, okay? There's always these people in the gym, if you do go to the gym, who want to talk to you forever. And sometimes, I'm just saying, you might have to ignore them for a little bit or just say hi, okay? And then go on and do your own thing as opposed to chatting to them for 30 minutes because that's a lot of time out of your workout, out of your day. There's things to be done. You know, as much as sometimes you can talk to them however long you want, if it's the weekend or whatever, and you have a bit of free time, that's fine, go do that. But make sure that you're not doing it all the time because then your workouts are going to suffer. I have clients who approach me, some clients, not everybody, who will approach me when I'm training. And, you know, as much as that is great, I will let them know I'm training currently, I can't talk. Or sometimes just friends in the gym will come to you and chat to you forever, chat to you about their problems. And it's like, I know, but I really have to go. So sometimes you might have to just like put your head down and get on with it. And also another thing that comes under distractions is your cell phone. Whenever I go to the gym, I put my phone on do not disturb. Because obviously I still want to listen to either my podcast or my music. So I need the internet for that. I can't put it on airplane mode. But do not disturb does not allow any messages through. So make sure you're not receiving any messages, okay? If obviously you're expecting an emergency call, oh, my English is so great, then that's fine. But just make sure that if there's nothing urgent on the day, just keep your phone away, because you'll go on your phone between sets and then you're not really into your training anymore. You're going to do your next set and then you're going to start thinking about the reply that you need to write up, and it's going to mess it up. I had that happen to me today. Anyways, that's it. That's my 5 points on how you can train smarter in order to see better results. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Obviously subscribe to the channel and let me know if there's anything that you want me to talk about specifically. I'll talk about it, okay? I'm here to help you. So check out the description box below for more information, and I will see you on the next one.